We have some of the biggest rarity news for Age of Overlord. I didn't expect to see anything out here this early. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Yesterday, this image started to circulate its way around the internet. You gotta love advertisements because these sorts of advertisements meant for OTS stores, they do end up showing up about this time every sort of year or, a little bit earlier than you tend to expect them to see. But this does give us some very interesting information that I think a lot of people weren't necessarily expecting to see. And Carlancho did a fantastic job here, actually amplifying and magnifying what you see up here. So I'm also going to post card effects on these as we kind of go through them. So first off, the first Sarcophagus. This is going to be one of the most broken cards that this set has to offer, because this gives you 4 bodies on the field every single turn. Alright, now remember, it also makes it so your Horus monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects unless they target them. Yeah, there are a lot more targeting effects in the game than you can actually think. And this also has my favorite up to 4 times per turn. You can eat a card from your hand to dump a Horus from your deck. And then at the start of the damage step, if your Horus monster battles an opponent's monster, you can send that opponent's monster to the graveyard. Yeah, I bet a lot of people have played against this deck that did not know that the Sarcophagus also had that extra clause written on it. It actually matters a lot. Now, on the other flip side over here, you do see the SP Little Knight, and that is revealing to us that it's a quarter century, which means, oh boy, it's an ultra rare or a secret rare. And if you expected SP Little Knight to not be either one of these, Konami would just take this set and punt it out the door, right? They're not going. This is going to be the most sought after, quarter century in the set, honestly, because waifu tax and everything, and the end boards are ending on this thing. And this thing is completely generic with 2 effect monsters on link summon if you use a fusion synchro exceed or whatnot. This is where the IP Masquerena that we're very famous with talking about in here comes up. You can target 1 card on the field or in the graveyard and banish it. Also, your opponent cannot, monster you control cannot attack directly this turn. We don't really care about that effect. You can target 2 face-up monsters on the field, including at least 1 monster you control, and banish both until the end phase. Wait a minute. This can blink itself out, is what you're telling me? Yes, SP Little Knight actually has the ability to warp itself out. If you are thinking this isn't going to be a very expensive card in the set, once again, you're probably very much doing it wrong. So that's just a little fantastic piece of info for you there. And then you do see the Supreme King Odd Eyes Arc Ray Dragon, aka Big Chummy Zark over here, getting an ultra printing, which means it's also going to be available in quarter century. The 3 of the cards that they revealed all actually got their base rarities, but all 6 were confirmed for quarter century. Big ol' Zarky Zark. If you have 2 or more cards in your Pendulum Zone, you can special summon this card, and then you can shuffle 1 card in your Pendulum Zone into the deck. And then if it returned to the extra deck, you can special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions. And then it's 4 dragons, a fusion, a synchro, an exceed, and a pendulum. It's always treated as Zark. And this face-down card in the extra deck must be either fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing a level 12 Supreme King Zark. If this card is special from the extra deck, you can place 1 pendulum monster from your deck in your Pendulum Zone. And if this card in the Monster Zone is destroyed, you can place it in your Pendulum Zone. Yay, Universal 13 scale. I'm not too excited about this card. The other Supreme King stuff is actually pretty good. But I mean, this is the headliner, right? This is the thing that we're supposed to be excited for. Yay! Zark with a +1 effect. Now, on the next picture here. Diabellstar. 2 broken cards back to back are just getting handed quarter centuries, which means they're probably going to be secret. Diabellstar, remember, you can special summon this card from your hand by sending 1 other card from your hand or field to the graveyard. You only special summon 1 of these once per turn this way, and you can only use each of the following effects. So on normal or special summon, you can set a Sinful Spoil Spell and trap card directly from your deck, and if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard during your opponent's turn, so 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard, and if you do special summon this card, you search for a spell card that sends, a card in your field to the graveyard. which then summons out Rescue Ace Hydrant, any level 1 fire monster that is going to put a lot of pressure on your opponent, and that's what I want to see right now. I want to see the Diabellstar stuff coming out here, but in a very, 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 very highly not nice rarity. Okay, now on the flip side of things over here, you see one of the Sinful Snake Eyes dragons. It's actually one of the boss monsters. Actually, this is the boss monster. The Flamberge Dragon. So this is the big guy. Comes out of level 8. You can target one monster in the graveyard or face up on the field. Place it face up in the owner's spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell card. And then during your opponent's turn, quick effect, target one monster card on the field, treat it as a continuous spell. Special summon it to your field. And if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can special summon 2 level 1 fire monsters from your graveyard. You know, I love this card. I think this card is hilarious, but we're tossing this into the Ultra category. I kind of had hope that we would be doing, well, it could be a Secret Rare. I guess, yeah, this could be a Secret Rare. So there's a high possibility that you're just going to be fighting the massive, expensive, high rarity stuff, at least in terms of this. And then on the side over here is going to be a card called Sheho Ruten. And this is basically the next part of our lore for World Legacy, but it doesn't actually say World Legacy. But it lets you target a Fusion, Synchro, Exceed, or a Link monster on the field. Return that face of card to the extra deck, and then you can special summon one appropriate monster from your graveyard to your field based on the type returned. So if we return a Fusion, a monster with the same attribute as the returned monster. If we're doing a Synchro, we're getting a monster with a lower level than the returned monster. Exceed, a monster with a level equal to the returned monster's rank. Or Link, a monster with the same type as the monster returned. We can only activate one of these per turn. I'm assuming if this is being featured on this, it's probably going to be a super rare. But it's a very interesting choice to me that they chose to feature Sheho Ruten of all cards, because everything here is kind of semi-good. But you're telling me that Sheho Ruten is one of those cards that you can definitely tell was marketed as one of the better cards in the set. It's a trap card, so it naturally falls to the wayside in terms of things. So what are we getting out of all this? A lot. Cries and no Doomsday Star being pictured here. Now, I do want to have a flashback back here to the Blessings of Horus. Do keep in mind that this is our sneak preview card of the block, and it is an ultra rare. I've had my grievances with them making this. I'm glad it wasn't Imseti, but to be fair, Imseti's probably gonna be a secret. We're probably getting slammed down here with the Blessings of Horus, an ultra, and probably a secret rare. The tax is real. I mean, the biggest thing with this guy is he's the one that gets the 1200 attack and defense for each Horus that you control, and then he also has the draw power. Konami tends to like to stick the good draw power on the higher rarity cards, and Blessings of Horus here is definitely one of those cards that does kind of fit the bill for that. Now, another interesting thing that's been going around here, at least being discussed, is Darkhold Dragon. A few people are talking about that this is probably going to be an ultra. Do keep in mind that this is the upcoming regional mat here. Now, Darkhold Dragon, this thing can't be destroyed by card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Darkhold Dragon once per turn. And if a monsters on the field is destroyed by a card effect that did not target it, you can special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when, the monster was destroyed, or hand, if not. And on special summon, you activate one of these effects. During the end phase, you can add a Dark Hole from your deck to your hand. It's a 3,000, 2,000. But it would make sense for them to put this into a higher rarity slot, if not an ultra rare, a secret rare at some point along the way here. I'm not too happy that that might be the case, because it was on the upcoming regional mat, and typically, looking at the last mat that we just went through with the ninja stuff, yeah, one of the ninjas was an ultra rare, so probably going to be the case out here. If you're expecting Darkhold Dragon to be a super rare, I don't think so. It's one of those support cards that you just look at and go, yeah, this is probably going to be dedicated to a higher rarity slot, just strictly because the card seems relatively good. Now, I mean, obviously Doomsday Star Horror is probably coming in at the speed of light, but that's everything that we kind of have and what's being discussed right now based on patterns with everything. So What do you think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.